So on Saturday afternoon, we have a victim who was out with his family. They were out on the boat, and upon concluding their leisure time on the boat, he was coming to Detroit to go to a party with some friends. And we know that occurred. And then on Sunday, when the family hadn't heard from him, they became worried, and they started searching their location information from their cell phone for the victim. That led the family to Dearborn Heights, where the victim's vehicle was recovered along with his cell phone, but the victim wasn't anywhere to be found. Dearborn Heights made a missing persons report. They began their missing persons investigation, and they did a lot of work. Sometime later on that evening, the victim's father receives a phone call from an anonymous source, and that individual had told the father that the victim was located in a basement of a vacant apartment building on Warren Street in Detroit. Patrol officers responded to that location, and unfortunately they were able to locate the victim, who was deceased from what appears to be multiple gunshot wounds. Our heartfelt condolences go out to the family. This is a very difficult time for them. It's a young 18-year-old, just graduated this year, and it's my understanding he had aspirations of going into military service. His life was cut short, and our detectives are working diligently to identify the offender in this case and bring justice to the family.
Amanda, this anonymous phone call, any leads there? Was it possibly someone who traveled to the city with or something like that?
So we do have information on who he was with, his friends, and we're in the process of trying to make contact with them so we can follow up with what information they can provide that'll aid in the investigation.
His friends haven't been in contact with you guys, or you guys haven't been in contact with them?
Well, the detectives, I know the detectives have talked to the family. I don't know if they've actually made contact with the friends yet, but the family is obviously cooperating and providing information too.
Where he was found, is that believed to be where he was killed in the basement, or was he killed somewhere else there?
At this time, I don't want to get in that level of detail. I just want to protect the integrity of the investigation.
Does the basement belong to one of the apartments, or is it kind of a general basement for all of the apartments in the building?
It was my understanding it's a vacant basement for this specific apartment. But if it had access from multiple people, that is possible in apartments often, so I'm not real sure.
Sir, we got some information that he was possibly meeting with somebody involving the sale of a firearm or some other kind of item, that there was some kind of sale or transaction at all. Is that something you're looking into?
Yeah, we're aware of his interest in acquiring a firearm, and we're evaluating whether that had any relevance to this case or not.
Acquiring a firearm in this area?
Without hindering the investigation, we know that the victim was interested in purchasing a firearm. Whether that was in the area that he resided or in this area, I don't want to get into that level of detail at this time.
We don't know if he was can't say if he was coming for the party and for that possible transaction.
I know for certain he was here for a party, and what occurred from that point until here we are now, these are the answers that we need to get for the family.
Can you describe his multiple gunshots as execution style?
I wouldn't want to get into that level of detail. Yeah, more than one gunshot. But as you know, the Wayne County Medical Examiner, they'll do the autopsy, they'll determine the cause of death, and they'll exactly detail how many gunshot wounds. Yes. Yes, absolutely. We would encourage anybody that was with him or knows any information about the activities to please give Detroit Police a call. The homicide detectives would be very anxious to talk to them. Their phone number is 313-596-2260. 596-2260. Yeah, it's still early. I would not label them as reluctant, no. And they're probably grieving and suffering, as well. So I have confidence that they will come through for us.
Commander, what part of the, can you take us kind of through the timeline from beginning until now, just where everything was and took place again?
Sure. Saturday evening, the party was in the evening hours of Saturday. The vehicle was found Sunday afternoon, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then about 1 o'clock this morning is when the victim was found.
And the party was supposed to be where?
It was in Detroit, but I don't want to get into specificity on the location.
I want to make sure I'm not confusing cases. Is there an element of this where somebody else involved in this group is now up at Grand Blanc? And if so, can you tell us about that aspect?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding the question.
Is there another person involved in this case who ended up at Grand Blanc?
Well, the victim's from Grand Blanc,
Okay.
so as were some of the victim's friends in that, Oakland County, Genesee County area. So I guess when you say an element, there's individuals that the victim was with from his neck of the woods that we're interested in talking to.
Any other agencies working on this?
At this time, it's just Detroit Police. Dearborn Heights has been very supportive, and I'm sure they'll continue to support our needs as they arise.